Did you hear the news? Aldi is opening 225 new stores across the US this year, and it's not just because they want to expand. Experts are warning that food shortages in 2025 could be worse than anything we've seen in decades. And while other grocery chains are quietly raising prices by almost 40%, Aldi is keeping survival staples at budget-friendly prices. That's why today, I'm breaking down the top 9 items you need to grab before shelves start going bare. Let's kick things off with item number 1, live well rice. Most people think rice is boring, but here's the truth. It's one of the most powerful survival foods on Earth. Properly stored white rice can last for 3 decades. That's right, 30 years. And at Aldi you can snag a massive 20-pound bag for that works out to about 200 meals for just a few pennies each. Here's the kicker. Aldi's rice is processed in the same mills as those expensive name brands you see in bigger stores, but they sell it for up to 6. And unlike Walmart or Target, Aldi never actually ran out of rice during the 2020 shortages. Want a pro tip? Transfer that bag into airtight containers and toss in a few bay leaves. They naturally repel bugs and keep your stash safe for years. Now item number 2, Dakota's Pride dried beans, and let me tell you, these are about to become gold. Global bean production dropped 35% this year because of extreme weather, and the USDA just confirmed that U.S. farmers planted fewer acres of beans for 2025. That means prices are only going one way up, but Aldi still has their 2-pound bags of black beans for just $1. Compare that to $3.99 at Safeway, or nearly $5 at Whole Foods for the same nutrition. Here's why beans matter. They're loaded with resistant starch that improves gut health, and 1 cup packs 15 grams of protein for under 20. Meanwhile, meat prices jumped 47% this year alone. Do the math. Beans give you protein security at a fraction of the cost. I run my own little rotation system at home using food-grade buckets with gamma lids, swapping out the older beans for new ones every 6 months. It's like running a personal grocery store, and I save over $150 every month just on protein. Item 3. Aldi's pasta collection. You've probably heard pasta prices are exploding in Europe. Italy even called it a national emergency when pasta jumped 50% in some cities. And here in the US, manufacturers are quietly using inventory excuses to keep prices high, even though wheat prices dropped 30% globally. That's legal manipulation. But Aldi? They're still selling pasta for just 89 cents per pound. Compare that to 1.69 at Walmart or 2.49 at Publix for the same thing. And here's an insider secret. Aldi's pasta comes from the same Italian factories that make premium brands. It's literally the same product in different packaging. I tested it myself with my kids in a blind taste test, and guess what? Nobody could tell the difference, but my wallet sure could. I saved over $400 a year just by switching. If you're stocking up, don't just toss the boxes in the pantry. Slip them into airtight containers to block pantry moths and keep that pasta fresh for years. So rice, beans and pasta, 3 essentials that Aldi's keeping affordable while the rest of the world plays price games. And believe me, these aren't just pantry fillers, they're your ticket to food security when the shortages start hitting home. Alright, item number 4 is going to surprise a lot of people. Berman's peanut butter. I know what you're thinking, it's just peanut butter. But here's the truth. This jar is one of the smartest survival foods you can put in your pantry right now. Argentina, one of the biggest peanut suppliers to the US, just had a brutal drought that wiped out over a third of their crop. That's sending peanut prices through the roof worldwide. Yet Aldi's locked-in supply contracts mean they're still selling Berman's for just $2. Do the math. That's protein for pennies when beef is running $8 a pound. Here's what makes peanut butter a survival powerhouse. It's calorie-dense, rich in healthy fats, and provides all the amino acids your body needs to keep going when everything else is scarce. Think of it as nature's original energy bar. A family I spoke to in Nebraska actually survived 5 days during a blackout on nothing but peanut butter, crackers and water. They didn't just get by, they had steady energy and stayed full because of the fat and protein And here's a wild bonus. Peanut butter can even be used as emergency fire starter. Those oils burn long and steady when you need heat the most. Storage hack. Flip your jars upside down, it stops the oil from separating and keeps them fresh longer. I label every jar with a marker and rotate them monthly. Simple, cheap, and incredibly effective. Now let's move to item number 5. Chef's Cupboard Chicken Broth. Don't underestimate this one. It's basically liquid survival fuel. When an avian flu outbreak hit my friend Sarah's state last year, chicken prices doubled in a week. Fresh poultry disappeared, but broth sat untouched on shelves. Huge mistake. 1 carton of Aldi's chicken broth has enough electrolytes, collagen and amino acids to keep you hydrated and energized during a crisis. Stanford researchers even found that people drinking broth had 40% more stamina compared to those just eating carbs. And here's where Aldi shines again. Their 32-ounce cartons sell for just $0.99. The exact same thing cost $2.49 at Walmart. During the Texas freeze, families were literally trading whiskey for broth. That tells you how valuable it becomes when supplies run thin. My tip: buy the shelf-stable cartons. They stack easily, store longer, and don't require a can opener. I keep at least 24 on hand, because 1 box can stretch plain rice into 20 flavorful meals. That's survival cooking at its finest. And then we've got item number 6, Simply Nature Coconut Oil. This isn't just cooking oil, it's a survival multi-tool in a jar. El Niño has hammered coconut production in Southeast Asia, and prices have spiked more than 70% globally. But Aldi, still $5.99 for a jar. While health food stores want nearly coconut oil is ridiculously versatile. You can cook with it, make emergency candles, treat wounds, or even boost your immune system thanks to natural compounds like lauric acid and caprylic acid. These are the same infection-fighting ingredients found in breast milk. And unlike other oils, coconut oil doesn't go rancid. It can literally last forever if stored properly. I transfer mine into dark mason jars and keep them away from light to extend the shelf life even more. Here's a little-known fact. During World War II, coconut oil was used as a backup for machine lubricants because of how pure it is. Imagine how valuable that makes it when modern supply chains collapse. So far, we've covered protein-packed peanut butter, broth that doubles as survival fuel, and coconut oil, the jar that can do it all. And trust me, the next item on this list could save you hundreds when the shortages hit hardest. Item number 7. Livewell Canned Vegetable. Now before you roll your eyes and think, ugh, canned veggies, let me stop you right there, because these little cans are game changers. I'll never forget the Johnson family in Ohio. A tornado ripped through their town and left them without power for 3 weeks. Their fresh produce, their freezer stash, gone. But you know what kept them healthy? Those boring cans of vegetables they almost didn't buy. While their neighbors were living off chips and candy bars, the Johnsons were still getting vitamins, minerals, and real nutrition from Aldi's Livewell canned veggies. And here's the shocking truth. Extreme weather has already wiped out nearly a quarter of America's fresh vegetable crops this year. Floods in the Midwest, record-breaking heat waves out west. It's brutal. But canned vegetables, they're preserved at peak freshness from harvests months ago, meaning they're locked with nutrients when fresh produce is shrinking and prices are climbing. USDA studies prove it. Canned veggies keep up to 85% of their nutrition even 2 years later. That's better than fresh veggies that have been sitting on trucks for a week. Here's where Aldi pulls ahead again. Livewell cans, still just 79 cents. Walmart, Kroger, Target, they're charging nearly double for the same thing. And because Aldi locked in aluminum supply contracts before the global shortage, they're one of the only stores guaranteed to keep shelves stocked into That's survival insurance. My personal hack: mix and match corn for energy, beans for fiber, tomatoes for vitamin C, carrots for vitamin A. Together you've got a complete nutritional safety net sitting in your pantry. I rotate through 50 cans at all times because $40 today could mean the difference between thriving and starving tomorrow. Item number 8. Baker's Corner Flour. Alright, this one gets me fired up. Flour might sound basic, but it's actually one of the most valuable survival foods in history. Why? Because flour equals bread, and bread equals survival. Right now, America's wheat belt is in one of the worst droughts in decades. Farmers are saying wheat yields are collapsing. Some states are reporting losses of 75% or more. That means flour prices aren't just going up, they could explode. Here's the opportunity. Aldi is still selling 5-pound bags of flour for $1. Other grocery stores, $3. That's an 84% savings on what could become the hottest commodity in every kitchen. A single bag contains about 8,000 calories. That's 4 full days of survival fuel for under $2. Do the math. That's less than 50 cents a day to keep an adult alive. My friend Maria learned this the hard way during a supply chain breakdown. Her store shelves went breadless for 2 weeks.
Guess who fed her entire block? Maria.
With nothing but her flour stockpile and a bread recipe, she turned into the neighborhood hero. People were trading gas and medicine for her loaves. That's the kind of leverage flour gives you. Pro tip: don't just toss the bag on a shelf. Transfer flour into airtight containers with oxygen absorbers, and it'll last 5 years. Some families even grind wheat berries into flour fresh. It's cheaper, healthier, and lasts decades if stored right. Look, when global events like the war in Ukraine cause wheat prices to jump 55% in 2 weeks, you realize flour isn't just flour. It's survival currency. Item number 9, Simply Nature Raw Honey. And now, my favorite, raw honey. This isn't just sweetener. It's liquid medicine. It never spoils. Scientists literally found jars of honey in Egyptian tombs that were 3,000 years old and still edible. So the jar you buy today, your great-great-grandkids could still eat it. But here's the crisis. Bee populations worldwide are collapsing. Some regions have lost 30% of their hives in just a few years. Beekeepers I've spoken to say prices could skyrocket 40% by mid-2025. Right now, Aldi's honey is $3.99 for 12 ounces, half the price of health stores. That's your window to stock up. And the uses? Endless. My neighbor Dave once cleaned and treated his daughter's cut with honey during a camping trip. Within days it healed better than antibiotic cream. Why? Honey contains natural antibacterial compounds, antioxidants, and even hydrogen peroxide. Johns Hopkins researchers have confirmed it can kill bacteria that antibiotics can't touch. That means you've basically got a natural pharmacy in your pantry. Oh, and survival fuel? 1 tablespoon of honey provides 30 minutes of energy without the sugar crash. That's why soldiers, marathoners, and survivalists swear by it. My tip: store it in glass jars away from sunlight. If it crystallizes, just warm it up. It's good as new. In Venezuela's collapse, honey became more valuable than cash. Families traded it for gas, medicine, even food. When the system breaks, honey is gold. Look folks, this isn't about panic. It's about preparation. Aldi is giving us a once-in-a-lifetime chance to stockpile essentials before prices explode and shelves run bare. Today it's affordable, tomorrow it may not be. If you found this video helpful, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this with someone you care about. Next week, I'm dropping the 5 foods you should never stockpile, and number 3 will blow your mind. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Stay prepared, stay smart, and remember, food is power.